Good morning, students. Today, in this lecture, we will discuss about the generation methods of amplitude modulations and demodulators. First of all, we will see what about the modulation and what about the amplitude modulation. So we will discuss about the very brief in this lecture. So first of all, if we are talking about the modulation, so modulation is a process in which some characteristics, either amplitude, frequency or phase of a high frequency carrier signal is changed according to the instantaneous value of information signals. So if we are talking about the amplitude modulation, means amplitude of our carrier signal will be changed according to the instantaneous value of our modulating signals. So as we have seen in this diagram, so this is a basically modulating signals. This is our carrier signals, and amplitude of carrier signal will have changed according to the instantaneous value of our modulating signal. So basically, if we are talking about this, so it will shows that basically modulating signal will be superimposed on the carrier signals, and these high frequency carrier signal will be transmitted through the channels. So for transmitting our signals to a longer distances, we have done the modulation, and in amplitude modulation we can change the amplitude of our carrier signals, and these carrier signals will be transmitted through the channels. So further we will see what will happens when we have done the modulation. So if we are talking about the modulation, so there is a two things. When your modulating signals will be superimposed on the our carrier signals, so in this way we get the spectrum. So what type of spectrum we have to discuss? So first of all, there is a unmodulated carrier signals, and the if you are talking about the spectrum form, so there is a sharp peak of carrier signal fc at that particular instant. So you can see here unmodulated carrier signals, and when you superimpose or your modulating signal on a carrier signal, so now what will happen here? The frequency of your modulating signals will be FM. So at FM distance to the right hand side and FM frequency to the left hand side. So apart from that, we will receive the side bands. So we will receive two side bands, FC plus FM upper side band, FC minus FM lower side band. So when we modulate our modulating signals with the carrier signals, we will receive this type of spectrum. So this is the double sideband. So in this amplitude modulation system, we will receive the double sideband, and by using these sidebands, so now what will happen? Uh, as we have to also see in our previous lectures that our information is contained in these sidebands. So what will happen here? कि when your information is contained in sideband, so there are two options. You will transmit your sidebands on the sidebands, or you will transmit your sideband with the carrier signals, as we have to all also seen in this way. So apart from that, you can see here this is the DSB FC full carrier system. Here this is the carrier signals, and this is the upper sideband and lower sideband. So if you are talking about the amplitude modulators, so there are two ways. Amplitude modulators DSB plus FC, or you have to transmit your both sideband with help of carrier signals. Means apart from both sidebands are transmitted with the carrier signals. So as we have to always seen that when carrier will be transmitted, so in DSB plus C system, the two-third of power will be consumed in our carrier part. Means this is the wastage of part. Only one third power will be consumed in the sidebands, and these sidebands are contained our informations. So means what will happen? Our requirement is only we have to transmit our information from transmitter to receiver sections. So if we are transmitting our signal, so we if we have to provide the high power, so only one third power will be consumed for transmitting our information. Two third of power will be consumed in the carrier signals, and these signals are not useful. These signals are only used for carrying our sidebands. So there are two types of system: modulators, DSB plus C or DSB SC. So both types of systems are important in our applications point of view. If we are transmitting the DSB SC, as we have to seen in our this slide, you will transmit only these two sidebands, either lower sideband or upper sideband, and you will not transmit it the carrier with this type of signals. So now what will happens at the receiver part? At the receiver part, for extracting your signals, you have to again multiply your carrier signals at the receiver part. So if you have to multiply carrier signals, means you have to multiply same phase and same frequency carrier signals to this modulated signal. And for this type of same phase and frequency signal, we have to generate it at the receiver sections, and due to this, the receiver will be designed more costly and more synchronized with the transmitter sections, because at the receiver sections you have to generate the same carrier. So this is the disadvantage of our DSB-SC system, and in this type of system is used for point-to-point communications. So if we are talking about the general broadcasting system, in which we want to simple our design of our receiving antenna, so we will transmit carrier signal with the sidebands. So in this type of transmission system, our transmitter part will be very costly, because carrier signal will be transmitted with the sideband, and here we have to require the large amount of power, and we will transmit these signals through the channel, and at the receiver sections there is no need to again multiply the carrier signals, and these signals will be at the receiver sections. We will receive the information from this type of signals. So this type of signals will be used, DSB plus C system will be used in broadcasting system, where one high costly transmitter will be designed. It is very easy for us, in spite of designing the highly cost receiver part, because at the other side there is a consumer, there is a subscriber, that is a normal human beings, and we don't put the so much burden of cost of antenna on them. So in this system, if we are working on the broadcasting system, we have to use the DSB plus C system, and this type of system very simple receiver, either with a diode or a simple resistor and capacitor, can be used by designing a simple receiver part, and everyone can purchase this type of low cost of antenna for receiving their signals. So this is the purpose in which we have to use. So in our modulator systems, we have to again see how DSB plus C signal will be generated, and how DSB SC signal will be generated. So now we will switch to the, let's, we can see here, this is the DSB SC system, in which carrier will be suppressed. And apart from that, we can also see here that both the sideband will contain the same information. So here is again a process. We are consuming the, we have to require the bandwidth, double bandwidth, when we are working on the DSB SC system. So if we are opting the single sideband suppressed carrier system, so there is a same system, suppressed carrier or plus C. So we can also opt in single sideband SC or plus C. So what about happen SSB? In SSB, only one sideband will be transmitted by us. So there is a little bit compromise with quality of signals, because very small amount of information can be lost in when we are transmitting the SSB uh, sideband through channels. So this is the system in which we can generate the different sidebands. So now we will focus on the modulators, how we can design a modulators, and how our modulators can generate the spectrum of our modulation system. So if we are talking about the generation method, so basically there are two types of generation method. First one is the square law modulator, and second one is the switching modulator. So first of all, we will see the square law modulators. When we are talking about the modulation system, so there is a modulating signal MT and carrier signals A cos omega CT respectively. These two signals are applied as inputs to the summer or adder block. So we have to give it to any type of adder block. and this summer block produces an output which is the addition of modulating signals and carrier signals. So that is the basically V1t, that is equal to mt plus AC cos omega ct. This signal V1t is applied as input to the non-linear device. So basically the square law modulator is a non-linear, working as a non-linear part, and here we are using as a non-linear device diode. So diode is used as a non-linear device, and the basic characteristics of diode is output voltage V2, that is equal to K1 V1 plus K2 V1 square T. So the here is the K1 and K2 are the constant in this equations, and we can represent our square law modulator in this way. So now what will happens, we can see in our diagram. What about the summation? So there is a modulating signals MT and AC cos 2 pi FCT, and we are providing it a summer. So what about the V1? V1 is the addition of these two, and now we will put this value of V1 to a square law device, and then we will receive the output. So V2 output of a square law device, that is equal to K1 V1t plus K2 V1 square T. So you can put the value of V1 in these equations. So that is a, we have put the value, and we will expanded it. We will take the square of this. So we will open this, and then we will continue. So what will happens there? We can see that K1 AC 1 plus 2 K2 by K1 MT cos 2 pi FCT is a required path for us. So this is a wanted path, and remaining paths are unwanted. So that can be filtered out with the band pass filter. So here the basic requirement is to we have to design a band pass filters such that our frequency bands will be passed through this filter. So therefore output of a square law modulator, so we can see that here. The standard equation of AM, so if we are comparing this equation with the standard equation of amplitude modulation, that is equal to AC1 plus KA. So K is equal to 2K2 by K1, and other thing is the approximate same. So that is the basically process of converting. Now we will look here, switching modulator. So what about the switching modulator? In a square law modulator, our diode will work as a non-linear device, and there is a property of non-linear device is V2T, that is equal to V1T plus X of V1 square T. So what about happens in the here? You can see here, that is the basic equations. That is equal to K1 V1, there is any constant plus again another constant, that is equal to V1 square T. So that is a basic equation of non-linear diode. Now we will switch to the switching modulator. You can see it's switching modulator. We will also use the diode. Okay. So switching modulator is also basically a similar to the square law diode. The only difference is that in a square law modulator, diode is work as a non-linear mode, whereas in switching modulator, the diode has to operate as a idle switch. So it will work as a switch on and off mode. So let the modulating and carrier signals be denoted as a MT and omega CT respectively, and these two signals are applied as input to the summer block, and summer block produces an output which is the addition of these two signals. So that is basically V1T, that is equal to MT plus CT. So MT plus what about the carrier signal, that is equal to AC cos 2 pi FCT. So MT CT, so then that is equal to V1T switching diode band pass filter. So that is our, so now these V1T is applied to the switching diode, and now we will see what will happens in our switching diode. So when signal V1T is applied as the input of diode, so assume that magnitude of the modulating signal is very small when compared to the amplitude of carrier signal. So the diode on and off actions is controlled by the carrier signal because amplitude of carrier signals will be high. So we can say that when CT is greater than 0, our diode will be forward biased, and when our CT is less than 0, their diode will be reverse biased. So this is the condition when you can receive your output V2T and when you will not receive your output. So that is less than 0. So you will output is 0, And when CT is greater than 0, so your output will be. So now what will happen here? So basically if you are working on a switching on and off, so that is work as a periodic train pulse with a period of 1 by Fc, and where Fc is the sampling frequency. So we can see here कि it is working as a switch, so it will work as a on off on off on off. So just we can see the Fourier series representation of this periodic pulse train. So that is the basically xt is the periodic pulse train, and this is the Fourier series representation. And now we will substitute v1 and xt value in that particular required equations v2t. So that is equal to this one. And now we will see here what is our required. So that is our opening, and you can help of this. So first term in the above represent the AM wave. So when we compare these all equations with the amplitude modulated equations, so first term will be modulated signals and others will be rejected. So when we are working on the using the band pass filter, so it will pass only the required signal what we have to see, and others will be rejected. So we know the standard equations AC by 2 1 plus this and this. Okay. So 4 by pi AC, so we can put it as any numerical value k. So these are the two methods, square law modulators and switching modulators, and by using these two modulators we can generate the DSB plus C, means you have to also transmit your carrier signals with them. Now we will see the generation of DSB SC. SC for suppressed carrier means in this type of methods you will transmit only the sidebands and carrier signals will be removed from the particular content of that information. So DSB SC signal can be obtained. So it is generally a multiplication of both signals. Now we will device. So what type of device we are required for generating the DSB SC signal? So generally we will use the product modulator. So we will see here the product modulator. You are providing the input signal xt, and there is a cos omega ct carrier signal. So when we will use both these type of signals and we are working on the product modulator, there may be the output that is equal to xt cos omega ct modulated signals. And this signal is just like a DSB SC signals, and there is a antenna. So you can transmit your signals by using these antenna, and this is the product modulator. So this is the modulated signals. So if you are talking about here, so we can see that there is again two methods. First one is a linear modulator, and second one is the non-linear modulator. So these are the two types of modulators which we have to work out. So what about the linear modulator, and how you can define this linear modulator? Linear modulator is a system whose gain or transfer function can be varied with time by applying a time varying signal. So here is any signal. So your modulating signal is a time varying signal, and if you are working on the linear modulator, so in this linear modulator, gain or transfer functions will be varied when we applying the time varying signals. So suppose gain is the ft, ft is proportional to signal. So what will happen? K into ft, that is equal to g gain. K is the constant of proportionality, and ft is the gain varying signals, mean signal whose gain is varying continuously. So let's us consider in figure 2 in which carrier signal is applied at the input terminal and xt is applied as the gain varying signals. So this is the way you can see here. This is the carrier signal cos omega ct, and here we are applying the xt. So what is the basic property of xt? Xt is a gain varying signals, and in this way we can receive the output. Now we will see here gain of modulator. So what is the gain of modulator G? That we can define it as a K into xt. So if we are talking about the V0, what is the output? So output is equal to gain into the input. And what is the gain? Gain of modulator is equal to K into xt. So we can also write our output voltage V0 kxt into cos omega ct, and this is the modulated signal DSB S. So kxt cos omega ct. Now we will see another method. So this is the basically you can see here. This is the kxt cos omega ct. So this is basically a product of modulating signals and carrier signals, and this product of modulating signal and carrier signal is the suppressed carrier DSB SC. That is the double sideband suppressed carrier. So we will receive the final equation in this way. Now we will little bit focus on the balance modulator, suppression of carriers. Ki how can you will use a balance modulator for DSBS. So first of all, you have to multiply your AM modulating signals, and there is a carrier signal. So carrier and modulating signals are applied to the balanced modulator's input, and we get the DSB double sideband signal with suppressed carrier at the output of balanced modulator. So output consists of a, so what will happen here? There will be two types of sideband, upper sideband and lower sideband. So that is a basically balanced modulator. So if two signals and different frequencies are passed through a non-linear resistance, so there is another method that is used for generating the signals. So are passed through a non-linear resistance, then at the output we get an AM signal. Okay, with suppressed carrier, because here we are generating the DSB SC signals. So that is the principle behind the working. Two signals at a different frequencies are passing through a non-linear devices. So this is the work say. So this device having a non-linear resistance can be a diode or FET. So you can use either diode or FET or transistor bipolar. Now we will work out here balance modulator using the diode ring modulator or lattice modulator using the FET. So basically here we will first of all we will see the balance modulator using the AM. So you can see here there are two AM modulators and we are providing the signal XT and minus XT both of them. And here we are providing the carrier signals, and we will receive the S1 and S2. So that is a basically combination of message signal and carrier signals. You can see here in next slide. What about the S1T? So that is equal to the what is your output voltage? So that is a EC1 plus ECXT cos. So that is a basically product of modulating signal and carrier signal. Again in output of M2, there is again a same process, product of both the signals. So carrier signal is connected to both the AM modulators M1 and M2. So you can see here S1 minus X2. When you subtract one input S1T into the minus S2T, you will what type of spectrum you have to receive, and that is equivalent to the double sideband system. So you can see here this is the S1T, S2T. So you can take the difference of both the system, and by taking the difference, some parts are cancelled out and some one is remaining. And this is equivalent. So 2M EC ST cos 2 pi SET. So again we can see here this is the product of modulating signals and carrier signals. So this is again the DSB SC signal. So in this way we can see that this is the again method by using the balanced modulators. By using that balanced modulator, we can generate the DSB SC signal. So here we have seen two types of the modulators. First one DSB plus modulators, and second one is the DSB SC modulators. And by using these modulators, we can generate our signals in amplitude modulation system. Now we will see here demodulator. So what is the role of demodulator, which we have called it demodulator? So process of extracting an original message signal from DSB SC wave. So what will happen here? We will extract our original message signal from modulated signal. So this type of process is called as a demodulation or detection. And in following demodulators are used for DSB SC wave, so that is the coherent detector and COSTAS loop. So there are two types of demodulator which we have to work out. So first of all, we will see the coherent detector. So you can see here, what about the coherent? In coherent detection, we have to again generate the carrier signal of same phase and frequency which we have to use in the transmitter sections. So this is a basically coherent detector or synchronous detection. We will also call it as a synchronous detector. This is the diagram. We will apply the DSP SC waveform, and again we will apply it as a local oscillator carrier. So we call it as a low pass filter. You can see there we was coherent. Okay. So this is the process ST, that is a product of AC cos 2 pi FCT into the MT. So that is a basically a multiplication with the modulating signal. Now again output of the local oscillator is, so what is the output of local oscillator? So you can read here and you can apply. So phi is the phase difference between the local oscillator signals and carrier signals, which is used for DSB SC modulation. So if there is any phase change, this is the carrier signals, that is a 2 pi FCT, and if we are generating this same carrier signal at the receiver section, so there is not follow the accurate process. So it will, there is slight phase change phi in the generated signal of local oscillator. So what will happen here? Uh, in the product modulators, there is a product of two signals. Okay, so here we can see you can easily remove the cos phi mt from this equations. Now in we will see that what about the power? So how much power will be contained output of low pass filter? So that is equal to AC square by 2. So this is a local oscillator signal, and when we generate these, so put the phi 0. So that's why local oscillator signal and carrier signal will be in phase. So there is a very important thing is in this type of generation method, that the modulating signals and carrier signals should be same phased. There is no phase change. Phi should be 0. So this is a method. Again, there is another method that is called as a Costas loop, and Costas loop is used to make both the carrier signals used for DSB-SC modulations and local generated signals in phase. So there is a basic requirement of this. It will have to maintain the phase. Now what about the loop? Consists of two product modulators with common input ST, and which is DSB SC wave. So here it will work on the basically two product modulators. And VCO, what about the VCO? Voltage controlled oscillator. So other input for both the product modulator is VCO with minus 90-degree phase shifting to one of the product modulators. So we will provide it a separate modulators, product modulators. So equation of DSB-SC, that is equal to AC cos omega C plus XT or MT. Let the output of VCO, that is equal to 2 pi FCT plus phi. So output of VCO is applied as the carrier input. So you can see here that what will happen. We have to only generate the subbase carrier, and we will apply this signal for upper product modulator. So this is the basic conclusion, and at last we will see that AC by 2 cos phi t, it will be easily removed. So we can remove this type of signals, and other signals will be in terms of product format, and that is the desired DSB SC signal. Now there is the output of this low pass filter is scaled version of modulating signal. So basically minus 90-degree phase shifting is provided. This signal is applied. So again you will see that this signal is applied as a carrier signal. So there is a carrier signals also, and you can see that how much you can arrange your carrier signals, and product modulator ST into C2T, and C2T about the values. You can put these values. So you can see here. So it is a basically you can see in this diagram IMT, and signal is applied to the input of low pass filter. Input of this low pass filter you can see AC by 2 sin phi, so you can easily remove this type of phase differences, okay, by using the low pass filter, and remaining will be our the desired output. We can see here outputs of these low pass filter are applied as input of phase discriminator based on other phase difference between these two signals. Phase discriminator produces a DC control signal. So this is the basic applications of our devices. So now here we will see about the very little part of. So if we are talking about the demodulator section, so there are basically two types of demodulator, and in this here we can work out on the coherent, means we have to multiply it with a same phase and frequency. Now here we can also use the envelope detection method. In this envelope detection method, we are using a diode and simple RC resistances. So when we are working on the envelope detector method, so that is basically what will happens here. If you don't have to generate the new carrier signals or new carrier signal with same phase and frequency, we have to opt the simple diode and two components, resistance and capacitance in this circuitry, and these two components can demodulate the signals, which is not with the. So only in this process we can extract the envelope of our modulating signals. So here we can see that what about the modulating signals envelope? When you superimpose your modulating signal on the carrier signals, and when we are working on this type of low filter, so now what will happens here? What you have to done? Basic part of you have to done that you have to calculate the output voltage. Okay, so modulating signals. So here we can again see that low pass filter is the second version. So by using the low pass filter we can filter out. So if you are talking about the DSB plus C and DSB SC, there are two separate mechanisms, and by using these two separate mechanisms we can generate or modulate our waveforms. And only thing is that we have to maintain the what you have to maintain the synchronization, because if you are generating again the same phase same carrier frequency, you have to maintain the synchronization in this type of circuit. So this is the way in which we can discuss about the modulator and demodulator of our amplitude modulation systems. And generally we are using the envelope detector method. So if you are working on the envelope detector method, there is only a diode and RC components, and when we design our demodulator by using these cheap circuit diagram, so that is very low cost diagram, and in this diagram there is a diode and there is a capacitor and a resistor. So when the diode will be forward bias, complete supply should be passes through the resistance, and if diode is cut down, there is no output to at the output circuitry. So this is again work as a demodulators. So now we will discuss about some objective questions as you have to appear. What is the function of a modulator? So what type of modulator will done the functioning? What is the basic functioning of modulator? What is the function of demodulator? Okay, so how will any signal will be demodulated? On which component modulation is performed? Why oscillator is used in transmitter? So what type of transmitter we are using in our transmitter sections? What type of modulation is used for radio transmission? So there is basically amplitude modulation, and presently we are using the frequency modulation. So that is the FM stations. The useful power. So we will see that where our useful power lies. Our useful power lies in the sidebands. What is the relationship between bandwidth and audio signal in amplitude modulation point of view? You can define here how much time frequency should be in your bandwidth. What should be the value of modulation index? So there is a modulation index value for under modulation. So which is correct for defining the under modulation? If you have to given the value of modulation index, then modulation is if we have to greater than there is a conditions for working the circuitry with the under the modulation. So if you have to given the modulation index, you can see that modulation index. You can see the what type of modulation is going on. What happens when over modulation occurs? So there is a loss of information. So that is a basically objective questions which we have to see in here. So we will again revise. In this lecture, we will discuss about the amplitude demodulators and amplitude modulators. So if you are working on the modulators, there are two types of modulators, one DSB plus C and the DSB minus S. And according to that, we will discuss the different modulators of amplitude modulation system. So it is a this all for our modulation and demodulation. So I think it will be clear to you. So, okay, thank you.